Good morning, everyone. Let us start with day 41 of our regular SAP FICO session. As we are already aware that in the last session we have done the production startup. So after the production startup, we are in a position to create the material and to execute the procurement cycle. That's what we are going to do today. And in the meantime, if we get any error during the execution of our cycle or creation of the master data, we will also be doing those configuration. So the first thing, the prerequisite to create the material is creating the material group, which is created under the logistics general. So let me log in into the system. So under the SPRO menu, under the logistics general, in the material master, we have the setting for key fields, and then here we have the define material groups. So I have designed only one material group, which is RCI raw materials. So for the raw materials, I'll be using this material group. So here, let me mention as RCI raw material is the one that I have created. With the creation of the material group and the configuration that we have done so far in all the sessions previously, we'll be able to create the material. So the materials that I have created is sugar, cocoa beans, and milk, because those are all the raw materials in our case. Let's go to the class 35 and see the yellow highlighted sugar, cocoa beans, and milk. Those are all the raw materials that we will require for our production. So that's the reason I have created all those three raw materials. Let me show the attribute of one of those. Let's go in MM03, the transaction code to display the material, and let's check for the sugar. Let's click on enter, and our plant is RCID, storage location also RCID, and this. So we have the material number and material description, base unit of measure. We assign the material group that we just created over here. The next is in the purchasing, we have the base unit of measure, we have the purchasing group, means which group is responsible for purchasing this particular material. Purchasing group is nothing but a group of people. Again, we have the material group, and then coming to MRP1, we have the base unit of measure, again the purchasing group. MRP type means automatic determination of the requirements for the raw material component for producing the finished goods. We are saying that we will not do that kind of planning. We'll simply manually identify how much is required, and then we'll create a purchase order and procure that. Under the MRP2, we have the procurement type as F, meaning we will procure this from outside. We will not be producing this in-house. If we would be producing this in-house, we would have chosen a E, right? And we do not have anything here. Let's go to MRP3, wherein we have the availability check, whether to issue the raw materials to the production. For the production, do the system need to check the availability of the raw materials? No, it doesn't have to check. That's the reason I have selected no check. KP means no check. And in the MRP4, we do not have, because this is a procurement material, not producing material. Going into plant general data 1, we have the base unit of measure and nothing else. Going to plant data storage 2, we have the profit center. Warehouse management, we have only the base unit of measure. Again, warehouse management, do not have anything. In the accounting, we have the valuation class. For the raw materials, as we already saw here, should be here or in some other class, we have created the raw materials, right? These are valuation classes. Yeah, here you see for the raw material, I have created RRAW raw material valuation class. That's what I have assigned the same over here. And you see material laser is active. So in S4HANA, the material laser is active by default for all the materials that we create. And you see the price determination is 3. This price determination 3 is coming by default from a configuration that we have done during the material laser configuration. During activation of the material ledger, we selected a checkbox for activating the material ledger, and we selected the price determination as 3. That has to be default one. That's the reason it has come here. And the price control S is coming from the material type that we have for the raw material, and this is default, which can be changed as well. But for the our example, I have taken the price control as S, because price determination 3 only works with price control as S. Now I have given the standard price as 40, which has automatically converted into USD as 3.08 based on the conversion rate that is maintained in the system. Now, as you see, we had different valuations like legal valuations, group valuation, and profit center valuation depending upon the configuration that we have done in our previous sessions. With that, you come to know that our configuration were correct, and those are reflected in the material master over here. Similarly, we opted for two currencies. One is the company code currency, and the next one is the group currency. And you already aware that from the 0L laser, I have removed the valuation. That means for the 0L laser, I'm going to use it for all the valuation views, for the legal, for the group, and for the profit center valuation, right? Let's go back into accounting 2. We do not have anything in the costing 1. We have this with quantity structure and material origin. It's always good to select the material origin, and with quantity structure, either we are going to cost it or not, right? I will explain the use of those two along with origin group, overhead group, all those fields in detail in our upcoming sessions. But today our target is to complete the procurement cycle. And again, we have the profit center over here. The next is here we have the future, current, and previous price. As you know, in the accounting 1 tab, I have provided the standard prices 40 in the local currency, that is the company code currency. That's what is that was has been populated over here to be the current standard price. Next is the valuation class. The valuation class is also coming from the earlier screen. Similarly, we have the price control and price unit. We have set as 80, and what is the current period? The current period is 8. So that's all the setting that we have in the material master. Now, looking at the next step, that is to create the purchase order. To create the purchase order, we do not have any prerequisite. Whatever the configuration that we have done until now will be suffice to create the purchase order. So this is the purchase order that I have created. Let me just show you. ME21N is for creation and 23N is for display. So here is the icon by which you can provide your purchase number that you want to display. And here it is. Here on the header, I have provided the supplier, that is 1995, from which I will be purchasing this. And in the header, we have to assign, like this particular purchase order is created for which purchase organization, that is RCII. We know that purchasing happens centrally in India. That's why we have created only one purchasing organization at the company code level, that is RCII. And purchasing group is the group of people who are responsible to purchase this material, and that is what we have kept here. And we are going to procure for RCII company code. So that's all about the header data. After the header data comes the line item data, wherein I have 10, 20, and one more item, that is 30. 10, 20, and 30. 10 is for sugar, 20 is for cocoa beans, and 30 is for raw material, that is milk. So I have planned to procure 100 kg each of those, and the delivery that date that I expected was 25th when I created this purchase order. And next that we have to keep is the price at which we are going to purchase. So let's put it here, so for our better understanding. For sugar, for cocoa, and for milk, this standard price is 40. For this we will check in the material master, and the purchase price and the PO price is 42, 18, This should be 20, I believe. We will check in the material master. And then for the 30, for 30 we have given 45. 45 as the PO price, and then it has to be 40 as per my understanding. Let me check in the material master. But before that, let me show other things in the PO. We have chosen that we are going to procure for RCI Delhi plant. The material group is RCI raw material. The output is kg, and for 1 unit, the price 1 kg, the price is 42 that we'll be procuring. And then this info record has been created automatically. Okay, now, so these are all the details that we take from the PO. Let's check the material master for cocoa beans to understand what is the standard price that we have set for this material in this plant and storage location. So that will be available under the accounting 1, and here we have set 20. That's what I have put in the Excel as well. Next material that we want to see is the milk one. Going into the milk, enter for the RCID plant and storage location, checking in the accounting 1 tab, view. We have the standard price as 60. Let's put it over here as just a minute. This is 60 that we have provided, right? Let's check the standard cost. The standard cost is also 60 as well. Yeah. Now the standard price was 40. In the PO we have given 42. The standard price was 20. We have given 18. Standard price was 60, and we have given 45. One more important thing when creating the PO that I missed to inform you. Let me just go back into the PO and show you that. Going into item overview, you see you do not have any account assignment and you do not have any item category. All right. So for the material procurement, we will not use any account assignment or any item category if we are going to stock it. Okay. So that's the reason I have kept both as blank. We will consider other available options here with the ongoing examples, but as of now, if we are procuring the stock material, we will not be using those. This is the important thing. Let's go back, and now this you have seen how do we create the PO. Now for doing the GRIR, that is the my go, which is for GRIR, we have some prerequisites that has to be done in the system, and let's look at those. First thing, you maintain table 169p, T169p in SM30. Let's go in SM30 and T169p, click on edit, and here you go. What you would do is simply copy this and create your own screen. That is for your company code RCII. So you just copy and give the target field is RCII. That is what you do over here. This is a configuration from the procurement, so I'll not be going into the detail of this. The next is maintaining the number range. As we know, during the GRIR, the document type that is used is WE in standard SAP WE, and for this we have the number range as 50. That's what you have to maintain the number range also as 50, which is what I have maintained over here. Now going back, the next is GRIR GL. We have to make some changes. I have knowingly not made those settings when creating of the GL so that you specifically remember those. The GL account is 200 and 200 for the raw material GRIR and 200 and 220 for the FG GRIR. So what setting in specific is required here? Must be in the local currency. This particular selection must be done for the GRIR account. Okay, for both raw material and finished goods. This is mandatory. Now, the next thing, when we do the MIGO or MIRO, that is the GRIR or invoicing, we there are chances that either the exchange rate difference or the purchase price difference will be posted, right? So for that we will need one cost center. So I have created one separate cost center for these for booking all those sort of differences. Let me open this. In case 03 RCIZ is my, so this is the cost center for purchase price variance which I have created. And then after creating this, what I have done is going into OKB9 to specify the default cost center for the RCII, for the exchange rate GL, and for the price difference GL. That is, you can see over here in FS00. Let me just show you that. Under the expenses, you have 400 for purchase price difference and 401 for exchange differences. And I have defaulted the cost center to RCIZ underscore G2 that we just created. Now, after doing all those four configuration, we are ready to post the goods receipt. Now, the goods receipt that I have posted is, let's go into the MIGO transaction code. We in the MIGO we choose display and material document, and let's put this material document over here and display this. So we see for the sugar, cocoa beans and milk, although we have created the purchase order for 100 quantity, as of now only 50 quantity was delivered. That's the reason we did the ZRN, we posted the goods receipt only for the 50 quantity, right? And this is the particular profit center that has automatically been derived from the material master. Now let's go into the accounting document and see the details. You click on document info, FI document. Here you have the accounting document that has been posted. So we have used same GL, that is the raw material inventory, for the sugar, for the cocoa beans and for the milk. Let's choose from the layout. If we have the material number, simply click on the column name so that it gets sorted according to the alphabetic order. Let us check if we have the material so that we can very easily, yeah, here we have the material, right? And let's place the material after the currency. Now before the currency, oh, it has been here. Let's bring it up. So we will bring it after the currency, and let us save this layout as well. So material, I'm giving my name, yeah, let me save it. So here we got the material number. So you see, first three lines belong to sugar, next three line belong to cocoa beans, and last three line belongs to milk. Now let us try to understand these entries. Also let me include the transaction over here. Let me again sort it down. And coming to PQRST, we have this transaction, right? And let's bring it after the material, or before material it has come. Let's bring it after the material, and let us save this layout. Yeah, I want to override this and bring it over here. Here you have the transaction is BSX and WRX, right? And this is what we have set in OBYC transaction code. You see, for the BSX, If we go for the BSX in our chart of account, for the R raw material, our valuation class, we have set this particular GL account, and this is the GL account that has been hit over here, you can see, right? Next is the WRX. Going back into the key for WRX, again you see for the raw material we have this particular GL 200 which is this particular one, right? 200 for WRX, and for BSX we have 100. So this is how the account determination works, automatic account determination. Now let us calculate the difference. Here we have the difference, this minus this, right? And total amount, we will total, before calculating total amount we have to put the quantity of goods receipt, 50 quantity we have purchased, and difference amount, this into the difference for, so we have 100 for sugar, 100 for cocoa, and 750 for milk. You see 100 for 100 for sugar, 100 for cocoa beans, and 750 for milk. Now from where has this purchase price difference 400 been taken? Let's check it down into the ZBB. Go up, up, come little bit down, and here you have the ZBB. Under the GBB you should be having, sorry, not under the GBB, you will be having this under the PRD. PRD, yeah. For the PRD, you see you have set up the GL account for the raw material, which is 400. That's what the GL account has been derived for 400 and 400 for the purchase price difference. Now let me also include one more thing, the cost center. Let me sort it down and come down to letter C to check for the cost center. Cost center, let's bring it below the transaction. Let's move it up, yeah, and save the layout. Sorry, and let's, yeah, save the layout. Save the layout and click on adopt. And now you should be having the, sorry, it didn't come. Let me go back and choose the cost center, and I want to bring it below the transaction and saving the layout. Yes, I want to override it and click on OK. And here you got the cost center. You see the cost center for the purchase price difference is the one that we created, right, and assigned in the OKB9. So the default cost center has been derived over here for the purchase price difference GL account that we set, right? Next, let us also include the profit center. Change the layout and let's go to the letter P, PQRSP, and we have the profit center over here, and this I want to bring below below the cost center. And let me save the layout. Yes, I want to override it and let me save it. Yeah, so here you have the profit center. The profit center is derived from the material master, right? So you must be wondering that, okay, I will explain about the document splitting later. As of now, you remember that the profit center is coming from the material master, the cost center is coming for the purchase price difference line from the OKB9 that we have set. Okay, so that's all about the MyGo document. Now we will proceed towards booking the invoice for the goods that we have received. So to book the invoice, we use the transaction code MyRo, and in this we have these many prerequisites that were not configured as of now. So during MyRo, we get all those errors, we go resolving one by one. So the first thing is the document type that is for posting the MyRo is RE. Let's go into the RE, and for RE you check the number range is 51, so that the system would ask you to create the number range 51. That is what I have created over here. 51 all zeros to 51 all lines. So this is the first error that we get. The next is maintaining the tax code in OBZT. Let's go in OBZT. Our country is India. Sorry, the somebody has changed the assignment of the tax procedure to the country. So sorry, let's go into OBBZ, where we can see what tax procedure has been assigned to the country India, which is not our. Let's go into ZTax PI and save it. And now going in OBZT code to solve the error that we get. And here we have to assign all the tax codes that we have created in the previous session. Let's go back to that session where we created the tax codes. Yeah, here you see I1, O1, I2, O2, I3. So these are all the tax codes that you have to configure over here and make as relevant for all the transactions, right? These are relevant for all the transactions. This is the setting that you have to do, because without doing this setting you will not be able to see the tax code in this drop down. So whatever the tax code that you have configured at that place, you will be able to see that over here. Next, so after resolving this particular issue, we have another issue that says to maintain the posting key for the tax codes. So the thing that I did not configure was going into SPRO, SAP reference IMG, and under the financial accounting, global setting, tax on sales and purchases, under the posting, not on the posting, on the basic setting, we have this check and change the setting for processing keys. Not this one. We should be having under the posting, define tax accounts. And here, what we missed for our case was to assign the debit and credit keys 40 and 50 over here. And I did this for all our tax codes to resolve this particular step. Next error that we got is for business places. So we have to configure the business places as well. Let's go and check where we have this node to configure the business place. So you have that over here. You go into the tax on sales and purchases, under the basic setting, under the India company code, goods and services tax. In the general setting, you have the node to define the business place, wherein for my company code I have designed the business place for Delhi and Mumbai. Let's go back, and then again we have to assign these business places to our plant, RCID. So RCID is Delhi plant, for which I have assigned the business place RCID, which is for Delhi business place. So with this we solve this particular issue. Now the next is defining the section code as well. So for this we go into the withholding tax. Under the withholding tax, we should be having the option to create the section code. We do not have that here. That should be under the extended withholding tax. So we have that over here under the extended withholding tax basic setting. In the India, we have defined the section code node, wherein we specify the two section code for RCID for Delhi and RCIM for Mumbai. And again, here we link the business place to the section code itself. Let's go back. And then the next step that we have to do is assigning the TAN number to the section codes that we just created, which is this particular dummy PAN number that is what I have given over here. So these are the two steps that we have to do in order to resolve the issue related to business place and section codes. Now next error that we'll be getting is to configure the table 169V. Let's go into SC16N. T169V is the table for our company code. This is what we have to configure over here. So if we go in SM30/N SM30, what was the table? 169V. This is the table from the material management, so we'll not go into the detail of this. Simply what you will be doing is you will copy the company code 001 and you will create for your company code and you will remove those tax codes. Okay, that's all you have to do for this step. So once this is resolved, then another error that you will be getting is in the GRIR account we have to maintain the tax category, which is going into FS00 to display the GL account, and then going into the liabilities to go into the GRIR accounts for raw material. And here you have this particular thing wherein you have to put the star and you have to select this posting without tax code is allowed. These are the two settings that you have to do for the GR account, which is mandatory, along with selecting the balances in local currency, right? So after you have done this, you come to the next step, which is for doing the invoicing. And now when you do the invoicing, you will not get any error. So I have already posted the invoice. Let me show you the accounting entry. So the invoice document that got posted was this one in fiscal year 2025. And here we go. This is the document that we posted. So let us first check how these amounts were calculated, right? These amounts were calculated GRN. This is invoice amount. Invoice amount is quantity into PO price, right? 2100, 900 and 2250. 2100, 900, and for the last one it is 2250. This is how the amount was calculated. Next, during the invoice posting I have chosen as tax code as I1, which is IGST 18%, and I have placed the business place and section code that we just configured over here. So now how much is the tax amount? The tax amount the system has calculated at 945. So let's try to apply 18% on this value. This into this percentage, it is 945. So expense amount, on top of expense amount we apply 18% and then we get 945 the tax amount. That is how it has been calculated, and the total amount of the invoice is 945 plus 5250, which is 6195, right? That is what you put over here. Next, while posting the invoice, we have other like baseline dates and payment methods, partner bank type, payment block, payment terms. These are house banks, payment reasons. These are some of the additional things that we will discuss later when we discuss the business process in financial accounting. So this is how the accounting works. If we want to check the accounting document related to this, let's go on the follow on document and click on the accounting document. Now on the accounting document you have the you have the vendor as 1925 that we put while in the PO as well, and then you have these all the GRIR accounts for each of the raw materials, that is sugar, cocoa beans and milk, and then you have the tax 100, 500, 18% is calculated. Now where this tax account has come from, you know the tax code is I1, so you simply go into SPRO just to check it from where this has been derived. Go in the SAP reference IMG, financial accounting, global setting, tax and sale purchases, posting, and define the tax accounts. And here you will be having for the IGS your transaction. Here you have the rules, and here you have the accounts. So for I1 you have set up 100 500, and that's the GL account that has been hit over here, right? Okay, I hope this is all clear to you. How do we procure the material in the procurement module, and what is the behavior of the system if the price control is S? We will see what is the behavior of the system when the price control is V as well. And again, for all those combination, we will see the behavior of the system when we purchase the services, when we purchase the assets, when we purchase the asset under constructions, and multiple other things in our days to come. With this, I'm closing for the day. We'll meet again tomorrow. Thank you.